Yes, friends. Now let's move on to creating our modules. From this point on, we'll be adding our microservices under this main project structure. These are regular modules as you know them. They don't have to be written separately. Don't think that if you write them separately, they become microservices, but if you write them under one project structure, they're just modules or something like that. We can run these independently and deploy them independently as well. So just because they're under one project structure, you don't have to consider them as mere modules. Here, by using the module structure, we're just managing our general setups like dependencies and the structures we need to transfer from the main framework. Now, you start adding them as modules, friends. So, what exactly are you going to add here? Break time equals 0.5s/, I call it the authentication, the auth microservice, specifically. The group ID already comes from the main ID. I just create it directly, friends. Now here, please pay attention, friends. The auth microservice has arrived. I have the main framework. The auth microservice has also arrived. This has come as a module. What's inside this? There's Gradle. Again, there are the basic things that should be in a standard Java project inside a normal project. Please pay attention. You don't leave any code inside the build.gradle. Look, you don't leave anything in the build.gradle of the auth microservice, friends. It should be completely empty. Why? Because I'm already sending all the dependencies from the build.gradle in my main framework, friends. All the parameters are here. You don't need to write anything extra here. Of course, in the future, will there be dependencies that we need to add specifically for the auth microservice? There will be. We'll add them then. But for now, you don't need to add anything. Our auth microservice has been added, friends. Now, next up is our other microservice, the user microservice. I'm adding that one too, creating it. I'm also deleting all the parameters inside the Gradle file for this one as well, friends. We're not adding anything. Look, auth microservice, user microservice. We're refreshing our file here, friends. If the Gradle file doesn't show up here, like if you closed it by clicking the X, you can come to Gradle, click here, and refresh it again from here. So, what will this do? Please pay attention. Look, the necessary things for each microservice will be added here. Please pay attention. A lot of parameters have appeared here. Some of these came from Java. I mean, from the Java plugins. Some of them came from Spring Boot's own plugins, friends. Alright, they're present in both. So, in this structure here, where are the auth and user microservices that we added being included? Look, there's a settings.gradle. Here, you'll see that these are added as modules, but they're included here. The main build.gradle at the root adds the necessary parameters to these modules that have been added here, friends. You don't need to do anything extra. This is how you'll add your microservices, friends. There's auth, there's user. So, what else can we say? If this is a social media app, there's post, comment, follow. Whatever comes to your mind. So, in a social media application, which microservices might need to be broken out? Whatever microservices there are, you need to add each of them here one by one, following the microservice logic. Now, these modules have been added here, but we haven't coded or launched these modules in any way yet, sir. Yes, so after adding these, we'll get them up and running. In other words, we need to make sure they start up normally in Spring. So, how are we going to do that? Here, we need to code each of our microservices so that they can run in Spring. We'll be showing that in the next lesson, friends,